Welcome back. The Police and Prison Civil Rights Union, POPCRU, has called for the nationalization of traffic police under the Department of Transport. This comes after concerning announcement by the Transport Minister, Barbara Creecy, revealing a 3% increase in road accident fatalities since December the 1st. The POPCRU president has voiced concerns about the working conditions of traffic officers who, according to him, lack the adequate support and bargaining rights. For more on this, we are now joined by the spokesperson for POPCRU, Richard Mamabolo. Richard, a very good morning to you. Thank you so much for making time for us. Let's start off here. What does POPCRU mean by the nationalization of traffic officers? How does it work? Because they already fall under a certain department, right?
Yeah, good morning to you and the viewers. Yes, indeed, we are calling for the nationalization of traffic. Now, as things stand, we feel that the traffic in the country is fragmented. It's got a fragmented command structure. You know, you go to different provinces, they are all under different MECs, and these are different MECs, by the way. For example, in some provinces, they are under Department of Agriculture. In some, they are, well, in Gauteng, for example, it's under the Premier's office. So we feel that with such cases where in the different departments, they are not a priority because those departments are focused, of course, on their core duties. And that therefore compromises the level of negotiation and command that we would like to see. Now, as with the case where on Thursday the minister released the statistics, it's quite clear that there was an increase of 3%. But again, she then goes further to say that we need a 24-hour shift. We feel that that shift is vital, but you also have to look into other factors first. The first is to ensure that we build capacity within the traffic in the country. We also look into matters of timely compensation, and of course in ensuring that we avoid unlawful instructions, which is, by the way, an unlawful instruction which was issued because these people do not have some form of bargaining which is standardized. It's not centralized because, you know, you can negotiate in one province on the basis of their conditions of work, and yet have totally different conditions for them in a different province. That is why we feel that they should have one form of structure. So the call for a 24-hour shift is okay. It's something that we're not necessarily against, but we feel that we need to look into building capacity first. You realize that we've got less than 15,000 traffic officers across the country. We have to look into all these routes, especially now that we're in the festive season. You've got people traveling out of big cities to rural provinces. And of course, that would mean that we need more capacity. But the real capacity, really, or rather, whether this will actually decrease the level of fatalities, totally rests on the motorists themselves because they're the ones who are supposed to abide by the law. Police traffic officers can only do so much, but you need motorists to also cooperate and ensure that they abide by the rules of the law.
Okay, make us understand the difference between the various traffic departments. So you have the National Traffic Law Enforcement, right? Then you have the ones that are at a provincial level. Then you have the ones that are at a local level with the JMPD and EMPD in the case of Gauteng, with Ekurhuleni as well as Johannesburg. So which ones are you speaking about?
Yeah, we're mainly speaking about the ones who are at the provincial and national level because they are the ones who are within different, they're working under different MECs, you know. With mainly the ones at metro level, you know, they are not only traffic officers, but they also deal with enforcing bylaws, just like Johannesburg Metro Police Department and that of Pretoria. We also have similar police departments in mainly the big cities, Durban and Cape Town. So we're speaking about the ones who are actually solely responsible for ensuring that they look after the roads, and those are the ones at the provincial level. That is why we're saying that they've got different commands. They've got different fractured command system structure currently because they report under different MECs who are not necessarily, those departments are not necessarily focused on traffic, but are focused on other things. So they are not a priority. We feel that if they have one command by being nationalized and reporting to one commissioner, we would know that their conditions of service across the country are similar. And of course, they've got better working conditions. And of course, One other challenge has been the challenges of resources. They do not have sufficient vehicles, they do not have offices where they can report to, and all such things, of course, have got a negative bearing on them. We feel that we've also seen, as in the case with police who have been killed on the roads, from time to time, even traffic officers face some of these challenges when they are attacked.
Yeah, that's an important distinction that you make there, and I think that maybe with our viewers as well, they would know like the experience that they get from driving into various provinces, how law enforcement there's always a different strategy. Like KwaZulu-Natal has a different strategy and a visibility strategy compared to Gauteng and perhaps maybe Mpumalanga for that matter. So once you get national to have so that become a national competency. What is it that you think that would then be fixed? And does this national commissioner fall under national police commissioner? Or are you saying that a new commissioner structure must be set up?
Look, they play the role of policing, so they should be under a single police service. I think the National Commissioner of Police would have to take over there, but as well to ensure that the standard uniformity. Even currently as we speak, you go to different provinces, there were different uniforms.
Yeah.
And of course, we think that they would obviously work towards ensuring that their working conditions can be had, and they've got a bigger voice at the level of a bargaining council, wherein they'll have a clear platform around what to do. Currently, when we have to negotiate for their conditions, one province comes out with a certain agreement, the other comes out with a totally different agreement, and that sometimes has got a lot of negativity as it comes to how their career progression is actually structured. So that is one of the things that we think will actually be dealt with, and they would obviously be in a better working conditions.
Do you think that also has an impact on the various provincial departments to retain some of these officers? If, for instance, you have a case where in a certain province there is a higher offer for the same rank?
Yeah, look, that is the case. In fact, one of the challenges that we have also witnessed in the past years has been the fact that some of these traffic officers opt to come to big cities because there's better remuneration. For example, if you work under Gauteng, you'll get a better remuneration as compared to somebody who's working in a province like Limpopo or Mpumalanga, for example. So that also has got a negative impact on the capacity of traffic officers within those smaller other provinces as compared to the ones with the biggest economy in the country. So that has always been the case. There's a very high relocation of these traffic officers to Gauteng, to the KZN, to the Western Cape as well. So it then deals with the capacity of these other smaller provinces. And that, of course, is something that we would be addressing if we were to nationalize them, so that people do not feel a need to come to big cities, but actually stay wherever they are, because they would know that they get the same in the remuneration, and of course they actually contribute towards ensuring that even those other provinces have got sufficient capacity.
Okay. Has this proposal been shared with any of the government structures as yet?
In fact, this was a resolution that was taken by the very same ANC itself when it was in government, still fully in government, in 2007 in Polokwane. And since then, we have obviously been lobbying different ministers and commissioners to look into the matter. Currently, we've been having a lot of changes in government positions, but the government is well aware of it. And of course, we are currently engaging with the current minister. We hope that we will have further discussions in the coming year to look into how we can address this matter even further.
Thank you so much for your time, Richard. Mamabolo is the spokesperson for POPCRU. So what do you make of that? Have the provincial law traffic enforcement agencies become a national competency instead of leaving it up to the province as well as local government? Do you think that that will go a long way in dealing with some of the road fatalities that we've seen, but also the level of enforcement, which is quite fragmented depending on the province that you are traveling in? So that brings us to the end of the conversation. We're going to take a quick ad break. At the top of the hour, we continue with the AM Report.